know a lot of you all who watch my channel are gourmand lovers like myself. And so for today's video, I decided to share with you some gourmand fragrances that are sweet, but still will work in this heat. If you are interested, then just keep watching. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Ayesha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So just to clarify, all of the fragrances I'll be talking about today are sweet fragrances. I consider them gourmand fragrances. All of them don't necessarily smell 100% edible, but I do still consider them a gourmand fragrance. And we'll kind of talk about the differences as we go along. Another caveat is that I did not include sweet fruity fragrances, meaning fragrances that smell like fruit juice or that type of thing, because I've done some fruity fragrance videos. So I'll definitely link my most recent one for you all. But I kind of felt like people who love gourmands typically think about gourmands that are like caramel, vanilla, sugary sweet fragrances like that. And so these are the types of fragrances that I will be talking about today. But although they are sugary sweet, I think these could be worn perfectly well in this hot weather that most of us are having right now. So we're going to go ahead and get into these fragrances. They will be in no particular order. So this first fragrance is from Sol de Janeiro, and this is Cheirosa 62. Now I know this is a very popular smell for the summer, but I still wanted to include it in this video because I honestly feel like it is a great sweet scent for the summer. So if you've never smelled this fragrance, it is a sweet, nutty fragrance. To me, when I smell this, I get like caramel and pistachio. Those are the main like sweet notes that I'm getting. And overall, it's also a very creamy scent in my opinion. Now, this is the eau de parfum version of this scent. They initially came out with this in the body spray. And if you're not familiar with the line, this is the fragrance that is supposed to be the same scent as their infamous Boom Boom Cream. I have the perfume version, and I actually like it more than the body spray. Contrary to popular belief, I feel like the body spray gets talked about all the time, but I don't really hear many people talk about the perfume. I don't think it got great reviews when it came out, but I happen to really enjoy this. It is a softer scent, so although it is quite sweet and quite warm, it never comes off as cloying. It just smells delicious in my opinion. So I typically like to wear this during the day. I also wear it to the pool and to the beach, but I also can wear it running errands and that type of thing. This is not really like a date fragrance for me, even like a day date fragrance, just because I have so many fragrances that I don't really think about this when I'm going on a date. I want something a little bit more sexy, but this is just more like delicious smelling. I definitely think this could be like a great like Netflix and chill type fragrance. And also it could be just a great fragrance to take with you on vacation because it just smells like the beach in my opinion, but not literally like the beach. Like it doesn't smell salty or anything like that, but it gives me beach vibes, tropical vacation vibes. It's just so addictive to smell. So again, that is Cheirosa 62 from Sol de Janeiro. One other thing that I wanted to include before we go to the next fragrance is all of these fragrances can be worn in the daytime. So I didn't want to cheat by just doing fragrances I could wear at night when it's hot, because honestly, I can wear a lot of fragrances at night when it's hot. It doesn't matter how edible they're smelling or how thick and dense they are. Usually at night, I can still wear them without much of an issue. So these are fragrances that you can wear at night, but they're also suitable for the day, even in high temperature. So just wanted to clarify that before we go on to the next fragrance. So this next fragrance is from Zerjoff, and this is Lira. So this fragrance is quite popular. To me, this smells like a lemon cookie with some caramel and a little bit of spice. That's what it smells like to me. I do believe there is a blood orange note in this fragrance, but when I smell it, it gives me lemon cookie vibes all the way. Maybe that's just because I love lemon cookies. That's probably what it is. But anyway, this smells absolutely delicious. Now, I personally generally just wear this to bed. And it's not that you can't wear it during the day when it's hot, because I literally just said that all of these you can wear during the day, right? But I, for some reason, associate this with going to bed, chilling around the house, which is not good because I wore this outside last week and it worked perfectly in the heat. It was not too much. And although this one is sweet and kind of more on the dense side, and it kind of gives all cozy vibes, I still feel like it worked really well on a hot day. And I think that's because of the citrus notes that are in this fragrance. I think they really help to uplift it, and I felt like they came out more when I was outside in the heat, whereas when I'm inside in the house or going to bed, I think I get more of that cozy, like caramel type vibe. This is absolutely a stunning fragrance, so I'm happy to know that I can wear this in the summer because honestly, I feel like this is just a year-round gourmand, and this is one that you should definitely get your nose on if you are a gourmand lover. So again, that is Zerjoff Lira. This next fragrance is from Kilian, and this is Love Don't Be Shy Extreme. So this is not the original, this is the extreme version, and this one I think works much better in warm weather than the original. So to me, this smells like an orange blossom marshmallow scent, but it also has a rose note in it. And I think that the way that this is composed, it just wears really well on the skin, even in hot weather. When I go outside and this is hot, especially if there's a breeze, I just feel like it just works. It works so well. Whereas the original Love, I feel like can be a little bit more thick, a little bit more dense. And I don't typically wear that out during the day in the summer. This is the one that I reach for if I want to wear a Love and it's hot outside because it just plays so well in high temperatures. I honestly think it smells better in the heat than it does in the colder weather, and I think it's because of that floral aspect. Now, I still consider this fragrance a gourmand fragrance, but this one doesn't necessarily smell edible. I do think the marshmallow in this smells like really good, but because of the floral notes, when I smell this, I don't think I want to eat it. So hopefully that makes sense to you all. I still consider it a gourmand, and it's definitely a sweet scent. So again, that is Love Don't Be Shy Extreme by Kilian. So this next fragrance is another one by Kilian, but this is Princess. So I have mine in the old bottle. They did re-release this and it's in a different bottle. It's in the same shape bottle as this one, but it's all black and it has like the same kind of writing on there. I will definitely link it for you all if you're interested. But this is a beautiful, fluffy marshmallow scent. When I smell this, it just smells like a cloud of sweetness. It does have a green tea note in it as well, which I think just helps to kind of break up the fluffy sweetness. It gives it a little bit of an herbal quality, and it also has ginger in here, which to me just kind of gives it a slight bit of zest and zing. I don't think the ginger is overpowering at all, but I can detect it when I smell it. This is just absolutely gorgeous. I feel like it's so addictive. When I wear this, I do not want to put it down. Now, again, I typically wear this one to bed just because I love that fluffy cloud, but I have definitely worn this out in the heat and it's perfect because it's light enough that it doesn't get cloying, and although it's sweet, it just has this like fluffy cloud-like texture that's just so addictive in my opinion. So again, that is Princess by Kilian. This next fragrance, I feel like I talk about quite a lot, but I love it. So this is Dolce & Gabbana, The Only One. So this fragrance to me smells like caramel and praline, and there is something that is quite sparkling in nature about this fragrance. And I think that's what really allows me to be able to wear it in the heat, because although it is quite sweet, quite sweet. It has this like transparent quality when you spray it on your skin. It never feels too thick. It never gets cloying. You can overspray this and it's not a problem. I also think this is one of the sexier gourmand fragrances that I have here. I always get compliments from men, specifically my husband, but I've gotten compliments from other like random men as well when I wear this out during the day. And it just seems that people tend to like these types of scents. Even though it may not be the most complex scent, I still think it's quite unique, and it does have like a familiar sweet department store fragrance type smell to it, but there's something unique about this one in particular, and I happen to love it. So again, this is Dolce & Gabbana, The Only One. Next up, I have one of my all-time favorite gourmand fragrances, and this is none other than Zerjoff Italica. So I love this scent so much, so much. So of course I want to wear this year round, right? Because I just love it too much to put it down. So because of that, I have definitely worn this in the heat. Although when you see the notes and everything, you probably think that it should be reserved for winter. But I'm here to tell you, this is definitely year round appropriate. So let's talk about how it smells. This smells like an almond baked good to me. This one smells incredibly edible. So what I smell is the almond. There's some note in here that smells like either praline or toffee. And this is quite sugary sweet in my opinion. Editing Ayesha here, and I forgot to mention this fragrance is lactonic as well. But again, this has this transparent quality to it. So although it is quite sweet and it is quite edible, and for that reason I know a lot of people don't like this because it does smell like food. But although it is those things, it wears light enough on the skin that I think you can wear it in the heat with no problem. Now, I'm not saying this is a skin scent. That's not what I mean when I say it wears light. I just mean that there is a thinness to the scent that makes it not become cloying, because I actually find that this fragrance lasts pretty well, and I can definitely smell it on myself when I wear it with no issues, but it's not like too much. It's not the type of fragrance that just like gets stuck in your nose like all day. So I love this fragrance. It's hard for me to explain because I love it so much, and I just feel like however I explain it is not going to be giving it any justice, but this is just one you have to smell. Again, it is quite edible, so I would not recommend blind buying this, but if you want to blind buy it and you're going to do it anyway, then maybe check for the smaller bottle. If I can find a smaller bottle in stock somewhere, I will link it for you all. But if not, then I'll link the larger bottle. But I'm just telling you, it is edible smelling. So I don't necessarily think this is safe blind buy. But if you love an edible smelling scent and you love almond, go for it, okay? So again, that is Zerjoff Italica. The next fragrance is pretty new to my collection, but I had to share it because it definitely deserves a spot in this video. So this is House of Ciage Cream Chiffon. This was sent to me from the brand, but they are not paying me to mention this, but I definitely wanted to disclose that for you all. This is a beautiful gourmand scent. So to me, this smells like a citrusy whipped cream type scent. The citrus that I smell in here smells like lemon in my opinion, but more of like a candied lemon or something like that. It's not like a sharp lemon. And then it smells like there's also whipped cream in this. This fragrance smells quite fluffy. And that's pretty much all I get out of this fragrance. I know it has quite a bit of notes, but to me, just to simplify it, it smells like a fluffy lemon flavored whipped cream. It smells delicious, y'all. Now this fragrance does wear close to the skin, so if you only like beast mode fragrances, this is not for you. But because this wears close to the skin, I think it works great in hot weather. I've worn this a few times now and I have gotten several compliments on it. There's one day I wore it to go pick up my kids from summer camp, and I think I got about 4 compliments on it. Now I, at that point, couldn't really smell it unless I put my nose to my arm, but other people will smell it on you. So this is one of those. It's not a strong fragrance, but it's absolutely delicious smelling. Now, I know I didn't talk about longevity or projection or anything on the rest of these fragrances, but because this one is brand new and I know a lot of you all are interested in it, I definitely wanted to update you all on how it performs. And in my opinion, this is not a long-lasting fragrance. For me, I get about 5 hours, but probably at the 4-hour mark, it turns into a skin scent. This is one that I definitely overspray. You don't have to, but I definitely spray my clothes and all over my arms because I just feel like you can get away with it because it just is that light, is that transparent, but it's so delicious smelling. It is so delicious smelling. It's not overly sweet. It smells like a very well done gourmand fragrance. So if you are interested in this fragrance and you don't mind the price, I definitely would recommend it. Just know that it is not going to be one that you spray on in the morning and you don't need to reapply it until 12 hours later, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And in my opinion, it's unique. So again, that is Cream Chiffon by House of Ciage. So the next 2 fragrances I'm grouping together because they smell so similar that we're gonna just kind of talk about them together. So this pairing that I'm discussing is Molinard Vanille Fruité and also La Mesa de la Vanille Fleurie de Tahiti. So these fragrances smell extremely similar, and that's why we're talking about them together. So both of these are fruity vanillas. And I know I said that this video was not focused on the fruit, and it's not. These have fruit in them, but to me, the vanilla is just very sweet and very edible. And so I definitely wanted to include them in this video. So the difference between the two is that Vanille Fleurie de Tahiti is thicker and sweeter than Vanille Fruité. Now, both of these I think could be worn during the day because although they are a super sugary sweet vanilla, the fruits really lighten these fragrances up. So I definitely think you can wear both of these during the day. If I had to pick one for daytime use, then definitely Vanille Fruité would be better suited. But I have worn Fleur de Tahiti during the daytime as well, and that also worked. I also like to use both of these to layer with other fragrances if I want to amp up the sweetness on them. That's just how sugary sweet they are. And both of these are relatively inexpensive, although they are niche brands. So I definitely wanted to mention both of them and give them both a little bit of shine, but you definitely do not need both in your collection. So again, that is Vanille Fruité from Molinard and Vanille Fleur de Tahiti from La Mesa de la Vanille. The next fragrance that I wanted to mention is another fruity vanilla, and this is Poets of Berlin by Wilhelm Perfumery. So this, like I said, is a fruity vanilla, but the fruit in here is like blueberry lemon. So when I smell this, I just get this overwhelmingly sweet blueberry vanilla muffin type smell. It smells so delicious. Now there is a green note in this fragrance. If I remember correctly, I think it's bamboo. Don't quote me. But there's definitely a green note to this fragrance, which makes it smell a little less edible. But honestly, this vanilla is just so... it's so delicious smelling. It is so delicious smelling. And although I do kind of think that this smells like a thick, more dense fragrance, it works perfectly well in the hot weather. And I think it's that lemon and blueberry that's being so uplifting in it. It works amazingly in the summer. So I definitely think this is one that I can wear year round. I will definitely be pulling for this when it gets colder, but it works amazingly in the hot as well. So I wanted to mention it for you all. Again, that is Poets of Berlin from Wilhelm Perfumery. This next fragrance is quite popular, but I had to mention it in this video because how could I not? This is Kayali Vanilla 28. And I know this gets a lot of hype on YouTube, but for me, it's for good reason. This is a very sweet brown sugar vanilla scent. Focus on the brown sugar. Like the brown sugar to me is quite prominent. Vanilla is the most prominent, but the brown sugar really sweetens this up, makes it feel very edible. There's also a little bit of a spicy kick in this fragrance. I'm not sure what note is giving it that, but whenever I spray this, it's one that I typically will sneeze when I when I spray it. So I think it's maybe some sort of peppery note or something that makes me initially sneeze like one time and then I'm done with it. It's not overpowering, but I definitely wanted to mention that because I feel like when people talk about this, they never really mention that portion of the fragrance. And if you are blind buying, I think that's something you should be aware of. But overall, this is a very sweet, very sugary vanilla fragrance, perfect for layering. It smells thick and dense and rich, but it's light enough that you can wear it in the hot summer. This is a easy reach year round for me. And I know when you think about this type of sugary sweet vanilla, you probably don't think it's appropriate for hot weather, but I'm telling you, the way this one wears, it is perfect. It's not a skin scent. This is one that I can definitely smell on myself, but the way it wears, it just never feels like too much, and I overspray it. So again, that is Vanilla 28 from Kayali. So this next fragrance is also very popular, and some of you all are probably gonna click out the video when you see it, but don't click out of the video. I have another fragrance after this that I want to talk about. But this is Baccarat Rouge 540, the Eau de Parfum. So at this point, I feel like all I need to say about this is the name. I feel like at this point, everybody has smelled this. If you have not smelled it and you love fragrances, go smell it, please. Go try it on your skin. Even if you can't get a sample, go to a store that sells this fragrance, spray it on your skin, and see how it smells. Although this is quite popular and it's been around a while at this point, I still find this incredibly hard to describe the way that it actually smells on the skin. I will try though. It to me smells like a very sweet ambery fragrance. It does have saffron in there, which gives it some spice, and it also adds to that sweetness in my opinion. But there's just something that is quite different about the way this fragrance smells. I personally don't feel like I can appropriately explain how this fragrance smells. You really just need to smell it. But the way it wears on the skin is quite transparent in my opinion. This is one of those fragrances that a lot of people get the hide and seek game with. So when you're wearing it, you may not smell it as much, but the Ciage is amazing. Other people around you will smell it. And so because of that, I think it works perfectly in hot weather. Now, I'm only talking about the EDP. I do have the Extrait de Parfum as well, but I think the EDP works better in the heat than the Extrait because it's just less dense. It is airy, it's cloud-like, and it's amazing. So Baccarat Rouge 540 is perfect for hot days if you love a sweet scent. Now this next fragrance is pretty brand new to me. It's actually my scent of the day, and this is my first time wearing it full body, but this is none other than Tribeca from Bond number 9. So I have to say, I love this fragrance. It is brand new to me, like I said, but this to me smells like a more gourmand version of 540. When I first sprayed Tribeca on my hand after I blind bought it, I was a little bit confused because I'm like, this smells exactly like 540. I loved it because I love 540, but I was still kind of like, I don't need another 540. However, when this dries down, you get these more gourmand notes that come out. So it still has that ambery sweetness that Baccarat is known for. But when this fragrance dries down, the notes that come out to me, or what I think I'm smelling, I don't remember the notes of the fragrance, but what I think I'm smelling is something like a caramel, like a sweet, nutty candy scent that is combined with the Baccarat DNA. And I love it. I love this fragrance. It really just warms up on the skin and becomes its own fragrance. Yes, throughout the life of it, it definitely reminds me of Baccarat, but because it has those other sweeter elements to it, I think they are different enough to have both. It is definitely a more full fragrance than 540. And I have been thoroughly enjoying wearing this today. Now, I can't talk about longevity and all that compliments, none of that, because like I said, this is my first time wearing it full body, but it had to be in this video because it is a sweet gourmand, and it's actually, to me, way more gourmand than 540. And I think that it worked perfectly in this heat because it still has that airy, transparent quality, although it is a little bit more full than 540. So had to mention it. I guess you could say this is kind of an honorable mention since I've only worn this just today, but it fit this video, so it's in here. Okay, so this is Bond number 9 Tribeca. So those were my fragrances that I think you should wear if you want to stay sweet in this heat. If you have any other fragrances you'd like to add, definitely leave it in the comments below. I know a lot of you all love your gourmands and are always looking for new ones, so definitely help us out. Leave it in the comments below. Maybe I'll discover some new ones. Maybe some of our other friends will discover some new ones. Also, if you've tried any of the fragrances that I mentioned here, let us know what you think of those down below as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. If you're not already following me on Instagram, go ahead and check me out over there. I typically will chit chat with you all in my DMs, in my stories, and give you all sneak peeks, especially of new purchases that come in. So definitely check me out on Instagram. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.